Okay, so today's lesson is beginning out with a recap of last week with integers. And then in a little bit, we'll go into our learning target of I can make or find the answer to an absolute value question. So, starting out, we've got these questions, and some of these are really good, guys. They're like on your Friday test. I will say real quick so I can say that you wrote it down. If you want to practice vocab, you might want to write this on the top of your page. The vocab is on Quizlet. If you search Amber Willis, Miss Willis, the math teacher, and you find her list called integers, just the word integers, it will come up with the 7 words. And you can practice it, you can print the flashcards or play the games that go with it to help you remember it. Because those 7 words are definitely on Friday's test. Okay, so starting out, here we go. We've got from last week, what is an integer? And I've got down that an integer is, it is a positive or negative whole number, and I am trying to short it, so it is a positive or negative whole number including 0. Bless you. It is all the, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the number 0. Make it big enough for you guys to see it. Okay, the second one we kind of already learned. What is the main difference between positive and negative numbers? One class said opposites, and I like that. They are opposites.
Yeah.
Another way to explain it.
Is there such thing as negative 0?
No, and we're going to talk about that. No, we're getting there.
Equal to 0?
Right. Okay, we could say positive numbers are always, greater than negative numbers. Or we could even flip-flop it, and we could say negative numbers are always less than positive numbers. I mean, there's many different ways you can explain these. Okay. Now, your question was, is 0 positive or negative? And the answer is no. And it is neither. And guys, I have seen this on tests before and all kinds of things. That is a very popular test question. And what they might do is even give you like an A, B, C, or D and say, is 0 positive, negative, neither, or both? Please, you basically need to memorize that. Okay? Yes?
So, if it's not positive or negative, is it odd or even?
No, good question. Even. Even. That took me a minute. I got a little off track. Because it ends in...
0.
Right. And they end in... Anything that ends in a 0, like 10 or 20, can be split in half. Does that make sense? So 0 would be equal groups of 0. I like that. Yeah. I got confused there for a second, but that's a good question.
It's a tricky question.
It is. Okay. Now, how can you tell a number is positive or negative just by looking at it? Negatives have the negative symbol.
Can we put in and then the minus sign?
I wouldn't. I would at least write out negatives. But negatives have the negative symbol. I promise I'm shortening it as much as I can. Now, some words that describe negative numbers. When we were doing the real world examples last week, we had words like below 0, we had below sea level, We had Sub-Zero. We had Withdraw. We had Lost or Decrease. Those are the main ones. We had one that was Giveaway. There's plenty of these words that can be used as like a context clue in a real world statement. You just got to make sure you mean positive or negative. A list of positive ones were words like game. We had deposit, like if it's your bank account. We had increase.
I've always thought withdraw.
And you?
Okay, yielded. Yep, we had the weird word about yielded tomatoes, meaning they grew on the vine. One of them, we had the word, I think, found or received.
Engaged.
Received was one of them.
Received.
Because he got like,
Well, if you give it away,
Or got.
it's going away. But yeah, received. We could say found. Profit would be a good money term or banking term. Or even earned. If you earn money, it is meaning you're gaining it. Okay. Yep, above sea. Yeah, we could do above sea level.
above. You have to write all these.
Nah, I need you to be definitely familiar with them. You have a whole worksheet that had a front and back list of different sentences. Just make sure you know those. Okay. Now, so here's some more examples of them, even though you've already got a worksheet. Here we go. 28 degrees below zero is
Below.
negative
28.
28. Okay. If you win $125.
Positive $125.
Yes, positive $125. Gain 5 yards in football.
Positive 5 yards.
Positive 5. And withdraw $750.
Negative.
Negative. Once again, if you are confused on the test and you're not sure, ask me. Please don't let a weird word be the reason you miss a math question.
Say it's money. Would we have to put a money sign by it like we had to do in the other?
That is up to you. If you put one, that is fine. If you don't, I'm not going to count off because I'm scared your money signs might start looking like numbers and positive and minus signs.
It looked like an 8.
Okay. Now, the last part of this little review is to describe how a graph on a point on a number line. Now, basically the short way to say it is you would start at 0. Kind of. Move left for negatives. Or right for positives. Okay. Now, on this, yes. Which one? Oh, sorry. Start at 0. I keep trying to move it up so you guys in the back can see. You're going to do start at 0. Then you're going to either move left for your negatives or right for your positives. Now, these two number lines down here, to me, are not long enough. I kind of extended them. This one was okay, like it worked. But this one I definitely needed to extend, if it'll help you. Okay. Now, first, what we're going to do is we got to number our number line. Please number it correctly. For this one, you really need to go from at least a -3 to a +5. Because that's the furthest to the left would be -3, and then the 5 down here. So, here we go. -3, -2, And then once you've gotten your number line created, you're going to put dots or points at those spots.
Is this our homework?
No. Guys, we're not even into the new stuff yet.
We
Okay.
have more sheets after this?
We're doing, listen, the new stuff is on the other side of this page. You have it in your hand. Okay.
There's nothing.
This side. I was trying not to move the page. Okay.
I thought we were having another worksheet by the way.
Okay. Now, listing these. We need to go from -7 all the way to 4. So, -7, -6. Please make sure your points are where they cross, not flying up in the air. They got to be where the two lines cross. And like if you mean 4, it can't be down here at -4. It's got to be at 4. Okay. Now while some of you are finishing up, basically what we're going to do now is start working on absolute value. And absolute value is very easy. Very, very easy. I want you to think about this. If you run you run 4 laps around the track, and it's 1 mile, then you've run a positive distance of 1 mile, okay? If you run backwards around the track 4 laps, is it still a mile?
Yes.
Yes. It's not a negative mile because it still wears out your body and you're still tired. It is a positive mile. I want you to think about a car. If you're driving down the road, it is positive mileage going down the road. Like it's adding on that odometer. Well, if you are going backwards in your car, does the odometer go backwards?
Yes. No.
No, because...
the future.
Right, I wish it was. Because think about it. You're still using gasoline. Even if you're driving backwards, you're still using gas. You're still using wear and tear on your car and your engine.
In your feet.
So, not in your, on your car. So, the key is distance is always positive. Now, what I'm getting at is this. Let me use this little number line. You have a 0. And let's say we're going from just this 4 to that -4. If we're asking what is the absolute value of 4, we're basically asking you how far is it from 4 to 0? How many little jumps is it? 4. Okay. Now, so how far is it, or an absolute value of -4? It's still 4. It's still 4 jumps. I know it's negatives, but don't worry about that. Distance is always positive. It's always positive. Now, what we're going to do is, this is the lesson for today. This is the new stuff. Okay, we're going to be filling in this side. It's not hard. Here we go. Your opposite numbers, they're the same distance from 0, like we were just talking about 4 and -4, but on opposite sides of 0. So I'm going to do an example. Here we go. I'm just going to do 2 and -2. Easy breezy. Okay. Now, so if we're talking the 2 points of 2 and -2, and I just made up those 2 numbers. Okay.
What do the arrows mean? Does it mean it keeps going?
Keeps going forever, yes. So, if you have, it says, what is the absolute value of a number? It is basically its distance from 0. Now, so if someone were to ask you, and there is a symbol related to this, if someone were to ask you the absolute value of 2, I need you to notice there are 2 long bars on the side of each number here. Those long bars stand for absolute value. So basically what that's asking you is, what is the absolute value of positive 2? So how far is it from 0? 2. The absolute value is 2. That is the answer. If it asks you what is the absolute value of negative 2, the absolute value of negative 2 is 2. It is still 2. I realize they have the same answer, and it is that easy, but it's because they're both 2 steps from 0. Okay? Now, it asks, why is the absolute value of a number never negative? And the key word is distance, because distance is always positive. And that's the key word there, distance. Anytime distance is related, it is always positive. So, now they've asked us to evaluate some expressions. I kind of think of this as just do some math problems. Here we go. And I really need you to look, because they're going to get a little different or difficult.
Wait, I didn't see that lot 100. Okay, you're good.
And I would pause it, but earlier I paused it and it locked up. That's why we're videoing again. So, here is the question. It says, what is the absolute value of 2? Positive 2. What is it? 2. Easy as that. Okay, those little bars, they mean absolute value. What is the absolute value of negative 4?
4.
4.
So you just turn the negative into positive, and the positive the same thing?
Yes. Exactly. What is the absolute value of 0?
0.
0. Now, this is where some of you might go too fast. And I need you to slow down and what I call kind of rewrite it. So, you want to do what is inside these absolute value bars first. What is the absolute value of negative 9?
9.
9. Okay. What is the absolute value of 3?
3.
Then add it together. Yes. Well, here's the deal. You can. But some of you are going to go so fast, you're going to make a mistake.
I thought it was 6.
Okay? It's not, because that is an addition sign.
How was that 6?
Because look, minus 9 plus 3 will make it 6.
It'd be negative 6. But
Negative 6.
it's
But then-
absolute value. You've
What
got
is this?
to slow down, and you've got to look at the symbols. And this is going to be the problem. I mean, if you go too fast, you might mess up. Okay, like this one. The absolute value of negative 8 is 8. The absolute value of negative 2 is 2. Bring down the subtraction sign,
Equals
and it is 6. Okay. Now, for this problem, you've got to look at where the absolute value signs are. The symbols for the absolute value are on the outside of this math problem. That means they want you to do 12 minus 7 first. What is 12 minus 7?
4, 3,
5. And then the absolute value, meaning that is still on it. Now, the absolute value of 5 is 5. Now, there will be a time that when we start really working with negatives, that some of those answers might be absolute value of negative 5, and you got to change it to a 5. I know right now it's kind of easy. Now, this one, please look at it. Start out with just absolute value. What is the absolute value of negative 5? 5. Now, bring down what is left. What is left?
5. Negative
A negative sign. So it is negative 5. You have to take your time.
Oh!
You have to take your time and look at it. Okay? Now, I'm going to try to show you a little bit of each section of the homework. I'm going to hit pause and hope that it will let me pass them out. But if it won't, we'll see. Okay, so now what we're going to do is start our homework together. I usually do this every class period. I will start the first little bit with them, giving them some ideas and how to work it. And then what I call let them loose on the rest of it. This class has over 10 minutes to finish this. Most classes have had between 5 and 10, so they should pretty much be done with their homework when they get home. But here we go. This first section says, write the greater than, less than, or equal to make these true. So, like 1 and 0. Which one's bigger? 1. So I'm going to put the symbol. I'm just going to go straight down this left side. -7 and -7 equals 5 and 5. Yeah, sorry, kind of threw me off. And 3 and 7? 7. Okay, so you know how to do that section. Now, please go to the next section with me. I got kids thinking they need to do all kinds of crazy stuff. Please look real quick. Here we go. So number 17. All they want you to do is put them in order from least to greatest. I don't need a number line. I just need least to greatest. So here we go. So like this one, number 17 would be -5, 0, and then 4. I'm just using these and putting them in order. If I go down, do you see I'm just putting them in order? Least, remember, negatives are going to be smallest. So, like this one, -5 would be the furthest down the number line. It'd be the furthest that way. Then -1. Then 3. Then 5. And you can mark them out as you go if you want. Okay. Like on 23, I've got -4, -1, 3, and 12. Okay. Now, the next section. Just kind of doing a few in each little section. Then I'll give you time to try to finish it up. Here we go. No, because you're going smallest to biggest. So 3 is smaller than 12. It's okay, though. Okay, so looking at 26. Here we go. Please look at 26. This is a new section. Okay, here we go. Absolute value of 1. 1. That is correct. Absolute value of 10. 10. Okay. Now, these are the more math problem styles, I'll call it. If it's I'm going to start with this part. The absolute value of -1 is 1 plus 0 equals 1. And then I usually just circle it. Okay. You got it?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Absolute value of 12 is 12. Plus the absolute value of -3 is 3. So it would be 15. Yes. I'm going to let you kind of finish those.
Wait, on number 36, can I tell you something number 36? It would be a negative for the equal.
Because listen. What's
Oh, never mind.
Okay. But listen, 31's just like the notes. Do 9 minus 5. Whatever that answer is, they want the absolute value of it. Okay. This is the part that I'm begging you to look up here. Because tomorrow, if you do not have these 6 done, I might take some points off because I'm sitting here explaining it. Here we go. Right here is the key to this. And it's up in the directions. If you don't look at the directions, you don't know it's there. It says, evaluate each expression if A is equal to -3, B is equal to 0, and C is equal to 1. So they're finally throwing in what I call some variables, algebra, but it's all the same thing. Here we go. Now I want you to think, The absolute value of A. Well, up here they told me A is
3.
not 3. What is it? It is negative 3 minus, what's B? 0. So if I work that out, I get 3. No, listen. Absolute value negative 3 is 3. Minus 0 is 3. Yes. Listen, if you will show your steps, that will help us figure out why you missed it. Okay. Like 39. I got a C here. C is 1. So I'm going to do absolute value of 1 plus 2. I got a 1. Absolute value of 1 is 1. Plus 2 equals 3. And so on. Okay. Just got to
What
keep.
if you already finished?
Okay. If you are done, that is great. Listen, put it behind classwork homework. If you are not done, keep working. Keep working, please. Thank you.